Did you all get a good view of my tummy this morning? I kicked my stand for the other camera yesterday and I made myself a mental note to fix it, and obviously I did not. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together where we examine things that are going on in our city, state, and country. We take a look at your ideas, thoughts, and opinions, and questions and things. We combine all this information, sometimes to good of an effort. And I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm looking at some comments. I will not do that, but I love it when you give good comments, man. It's just great. And today is bound to be a day of interesting commentary because we are going to talk about a heated subject, one that polarizes opinions, and particularly among English-speaking immigrants like you. But we won't get ahead of ourselves. First of all, as always, did you belly up to the tripod yesterday? Yes, something like that, Gary. Something like that happened. Anyhow, today, as always, we welcome everyone that watches. We welcome those of you that watch live for the first time with a special hello. If you let us know by writing the word new in your comment, we welcome those of you that add a capital letter Q to your questions or comments, because that way we can look at them. Brian asks, we saw Barbie yesterday and Chris was wondering if the opening dance number had diegetic or non-diegetic music. Well, first of all, it's diegetic, not diagenic. And no, I don't think there was diagenic music in the opening. I mean, diegetic. We won't get into diegetic music today, although it's a fascinating topic. If you don't know what diegetic music is, I'll be happy to give you an indication of what we talked about in our music appreciation lecture this past week. All you have to do, if you're curious about that D word, is just write the word music on its own. And at the end of today's broadcast, I'll give you a little bit of an explanation of what Brian meant with that remark. So I think we're good to go. We are going to actually start with the hot topic because this will give us an opportunity to express our opinion and get into oh my goodness, look at that. Music, music, music. I love it. I love talking about diegetic music. So we will talk about diegetic music at the end. It has nothing to do with a diet, but I won't get ahead of myself. First of all, let's just address the elephant in the room. And this is something that I am really, really eager to hear your opinions about. and ask and answer questions, and for better or worse, volunteer my own opinion. What am I talking about? Well, I'm not talking about this black screen. I'm talking about this. Say no to child labor, says DIF. In an effort to eradicate child labor, the local DIF office, which, as you know, it's the Desarrollo Integral de la Familia, and it is the government-based office that oversees family well-being and dynamics, particularly as it relates to children. Anyhow, the local DIF office initiated a new campaign titled Say No to Child Labor. DIF Director Roberto Ramos Vasquez kicked off the informative campaign along with the municipality's Youth Institute, stating, and I quote, "Do not give away your money to children. Because at the end of the day, even if we are giving money out of kindness, we are keeping those little girls, those little boys, or those teenagers on the streets, asking for money and putting their identity, integrity, and physical and emotional well-being at risk." Let's unpack that one, because we want to make sure that we dive into this respectfully. What do we do when we're sitting down at a restaurant and a child approaches us selling candy or other trinkets? Do we think that that child woke up that day, decided to go and do that? More often than not, that is not the case. So if we buy, we're keeping them on the streets. If we don't buy, we're rejecting them one way or another. It's not all that healthy for the child. And this is a topic that raises many different opinions, as I said before, particularly among English-speaking immigrants like you, because you may think that you're doing something wonderful and something heartfelt, but in reality, it's not such a good idea. What do you think about that? What do you think about people that sit on the beach and dress up as Santa and just give out toys without thinking about the consequence of the action? Is that benefiting the children or not? Is that benefiting the well-being of the person that is giving the gifts? It's a complicated issue. I'm happy to read your comments on this one, and I'm happy to get into a healthy discussion if you care to go there. But the bottom line, DIF is telling us, if you see children working out on the street, do not support that effort by giving them money or by keeping them working. It rained again last night, starting at around 7 p.m., and although it wasn't nearly as strong as last weekend, it was strong enough to raise some eyebrows among the population. As usual, authorities recommend caution while driving through flooded areas to avoid accidents. Families living in risk areas are encouraged to stay alert to any warnings emitted by the Weather Service, particularly those living close to rivers, streams, or lagoons. I also think this is rather timely. We were just talking about the Copper Canyon train, and now we learn about special summer promotions. But first, a little bit of lingo. Notice how the title that I put on the screen says, CHEPE announces summer route. So what is CHEPE? Well, the original name of the train route is Chihuahua Pacifico because it connects the state of Chihuahua with the Pacific Ocean. And the first two letters in those names are Che for Chihuahua and P or Pe for Pacifico. And that's why we call the train the CHEPE. Anyhow, back to the news. The CHEPE will run a special limited route departing Chihuahua on Fridays and Saturdays at 7 a.m. This is through the summer, arriving at Saturdays at 7 a.m. Leaving Fridays and Saturdays at 7 a.m., arriving at Creel at 2:30 p.m., and heading to Divisadero 30 minutes later. The train will make a return trip on Sundays, arriving in Chihuahua at 8 p.m. So this is a limited route at a special starting price of 2,750 pesos. And I say starting price because you can get a regular train ticket or you can get a first class train ticket. One way or another, this does not solve the issue of how to get from Puerto Vallarta to Chihuahua, which takes time and takes money. But again, hopefully, the new airport that we announced a few days ago in Creole will help alleviate that problem. Let us kick over to the news, rather the weather, not the news, the weather, just to see what's going on out there and what we can expect through the rest of the weekend. It is 29 degrees right now. Humidity is at 62% with a temperature in Fahrenheit degrees of 84. If my predictions prove inaccurate, it's probably my idiot maker's fault. Okay, well, we don't know who made you, snarky carrot weatherman, but sometimes you are inaccurate. Our weather forecast for today says thunderstorms, with a chance of rain of 10%. So we have a 10% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 33 and a low of 22. Then tomorrow, Sunday, will be a humid day with mostly clear skies, a high of 33 and a low of 23, only a 2% chance of rain. And then partly cloudy on Monday with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 18%, a high of 32, and a low of 24. Yay. Today, of course, is Saturday, and Saturday is becoming or has become our appreciation day, the day in which we appreciate those of you that have chosen to support Coffee and Headlines with your subscriptions. And we welcome Ben Chira as a new cluster angel. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your subscription, Ben. It goes a long way to help us continue doing what we do. Now, our community partners who also make this possible are Apache's Martini Bar, a fun al fresco bar in the heart of Zona Romantica, Best Cord Cutting TV, a locally based television service provider with hundreds of international channels and also channels from Mexico, Hotel Mercurio, Puerto Vallarta's favorite hotel for the LGBT plus community with their wonderful beers, boys, and burgers parties every Sunday, Bistro Mercurio, which is Hotel Mercurio's independently branded, fabulous poolside restaurant. And last but not least, the wonderful Joint Co-working Hotel, which is a beautiful appointed hotel located next to the Rio Quale that also offers state-of-the-art co-working space and a variety of ongoing courses, classes, and workshops, including my own music appreciation presentations. And of course, the Joint is soon to open a new cafe restaurant, which I'm very excited about. Although when I was there for my latest music appreciation, I didn't see much of an advance. But I noticed this morning that Eric is joining us. Good morning, Eric. If you're still there and you have an update for your fabulous new cafe restaurant at the Joint and you care to share some news, that would be fantastic. Now, moving right along. A viewer kindly reminded me of an upcoming event by Toys for Tots to benefit the children of Puerto Vallarta. The event will take place at Casa Karma on August 26th from 4 to 8. So mark your calendars now if this is something that you would like to attend. There are no other details provided in the Facebook event itself, but hopefully the organizers will take some time to nurture this particular event and give us more information about what it is and what the money is used for and all that stuff that we've come to appreciate. The 30th edition of the International Mariachi and Charreria Summit is returning to Guadalajara from August 23rd to September 3rd. This is, of course, a great opportunity to enjoy a number of presentations of charreria, which is Mexico's national sport, and, of course, a variety of concerts with amazing mariachi ensembles from all over Mexico and other countries. One of the not-to-be-missed events is the Grand Mariachi Gala, which features a number of mariachi ensembles performing together with the Jalisco Philharmonic. This year, the special concert will feature the Mariachi de America, the Mariachi Nuevo Tecalitlan playing with the Philharmonic, performing a special tribute to father and son mariachi singers Vicente and Alejandro Fernandez. So if you are in Guadalajara on August 24th, you may not want to miss this one. And if you have no possibility of going to Guadalajara, well, the event brings mariachi to Puerto Vallarta. On Monday, August 28th at 7 p.m., the Mariachi Nuevo Tecalitlan, which I just mentioned, will feature a free concert at the Malecón here in our very own city. Yay! Now, before we get into the chit-chat, 2 quick reminders. Today is the Ceviche and Aguachile Festival at Parque Hidalgo this afternoon, in case you are in the mood. And of course, on Tuesday is our own meet and greet at Whiskey Kitchen from 6 to 8. It's a great opportunity to meet in person some of the people that make this community that you've created so wonderful and so special. Gina posted this morning that she's totally excited. She says, "We have some fun ideas for this special day. Cannot wait to see everyone. There will be a few prizes this time and some cool treats to boot." And I might add, I have no idea what Gina is up to. But I'm always grateful, actually, before we get into the chit-chat mode, I'm always grateful for the welcome that Gina and her staff give us and have given us since we started doing these quarterly meet and greets. The whole idea is that we go, spend some time together, spend some money at the restaurant, because we also want to thank them back for putting up the event for us. You see, every time a restaurant like Whiskey Kitchen does a special event like that, we're keeping them from being able to serve their usual client base. So I am so happy that in past meet and greets, we've been very aware of this, and we have tipped generously and we have consumed generously at the meet and greets. And I know that this coming Tuesday will not be an exception. Now, chit chat. Let's see what we have. Doody-doody-doo. Mornings. Thank you very much. Yes, that was my big tummy at the beginning. Thank God I was wearing shorts. Let's see. We'll get to diegetic music in a second. Music. Yes, I will talk about this momentarily. I know I just said diegenic. You are contagious to me, Brian. And you know why? Because you crochet. And you know what happened yesterday? Yesterday, I crocheted. That's all I did yesterday, and it's all Brian's fault. Let me explain. I want to embark in new and exciting projects, but I have so much stash of yarn sitting in my studio that I figured, okay, Paco, you don't deserve to start anything new until you get rid of some of this yarn. So what did I do yesterday? Sweat rags for my friends. There's one in that color. There's one in that color. And there's one in that color. And then I started running out of colors, so I had to do combos. Yay. And this one. Yes. And I still have more to go. And this is what I have to do to bribe my friends to come to my parties. Ay, Dios mío. Anyhow, let's see what else we have. I love crochet. It gives me such a great zen. Just back from San Antonio, Texas, where I reconnected with my son after 27 years, and met my fabulous grandsons, 10 and 6 for the first time. Jonathan, that is awesome. I hope this encounter nurtured you and was absolutely wonderful. Congratulations. God, my husband has such a soft spot when kids approach him to sell stuff. I'm constantly telling him to stop giving them money. Their parents need to get a job. Good for you, John. Good for you. Let's see. Dan says, we say no gracias. My understanding is that the kids are taken out of school so that they can sell stuff, and we don't want to encourage that. In many cases, that is true, unfortunately. Parents see that it's better for them, not for the children, to use their children to make money, so they keep them out of school. Not good. Brandy says, an interesting perspective regarding buying from children. I never thought of the topics you speak of. Thank you for your information. Well, I hate rejection. I feel horrible when I am rejected. And even if we say no thank you and no gracias, and I'm glad that some of you and some of us are polite enough to say no thank you, but how many times do you say no thank you to a person before it starts eroding in their personality? It's not good. Let's see. Giving kids money for trinkets keeps them from going to school. It's difficult, but don't support. Thank you. Thank you. Santa handing out toys. That's a hard one. I volunteer for Vallarta Toys for Tots. These toys are distributed on Three Kings Day at the remote schools. It is a hard one, Linda, and it was Linda who forwarded me the information about Toys for Tots. I chose to share it because it's an opportunity to create community. Am I in favor, personally, of Santas that go and do things, or people that just sit on the beach and give things? It's a complicated thing. I just hope that Toys for Tots and, for example, Vallarta Abuelos, who also does wonderful, wonderful things for children, are not misguided. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say don't support these agencies or don't support these initiatives. I just hope that these initiatives are not misguided and are taking cues from child development professionals that can help us all deal with this with dignity and empathy. And that's just my 2 cents. Let's see. When we were in Guadalajara, a young boy was walking around asking for money. We didn't give him anything, but watched him as we wondered if he had parents around. Eventually, he walked over to whom we assumed was a well-dressed mom, dad, and little brother. See, that's the thing. It's the parents. And I've seen this a lot here in town. You'll see the children at intersections juggling or doing this and that and the other. And the parent is sitting under the shade, under a nearby tree, just supervising. That is not good. Lucy volunteers. There's several videos of how big is the mafia of beggars. It's bad and huge all over Mexico. They're picked up letter night on vans, and the babies they have on their back are stolen and drugged. That's why they are asleep all the time, which is very sad. I don't disagree with this. I don't have like articles sitting in front of me to qualify this. But yeah, I have also heard that mothers who have to carry their children all day long to beg will give them something so that they spend the whole day sleeping and they don't start crying. How terrible is that? This is a difficult topic to discuss as a foreigner living in Puerto Vallarta, and it is my opinion that I should not support having children work, and I don't buy from them. It is a very complicated situation in a country that I don't feel I have a right to criticize or make a suggestion about. If the Mexican people themselves feel this is a problem, then I will support them in the way they suggest, not trying to dodge the issue. I look forward to watching what will happen going forward. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much for that. A lot of times, I think, again, immigrants like you think, oh, I know better, or this would never happen in my country. Here, have some money. But the bottom line is we have to trust the authorities. And I know it's a difficult thing to say because we're always picking on them. God bless the authorities. But when it comes to children, it's it's not a fun and easy thing. And yes, it is a difficult topic to discuss as a foreigner, but part of the process of becoming a resident in Mexico is or has to do with learning the ways of the place in which you live. So there you have it. Let's see. A report from Eric. Hi, papi. We are hoping to have the cafe operational by the end of August. Still waiting for some equipment to be delivered. And if any baristas are looking for work, contact the hotel for an application. There you have it. Woo, I think this is going to make my music appreciation presentations totally interesting. Luisa, who lives in Guadalajara, says, yay, mariachi at degollado. Trust me, I'm going to look at my calendar. Girlfriend, if I can sneak away for a quick overnight, you'll be the first to know. Deep responsibility is to service programs that encourage children of all ages to be involved in their positive upgrowth programs. Outreach support is one option that can help to encourage, educate other options of living, health, etc. issues. What is your feedback? My feedback, Spencer, is that you are correct. And my very unrealistic wish is that instead of reaching out for our pockets to find pocket change or small bills, that we would take the time to go to the DIF office, make an appointment, and ask to speak with someone and say, hey, I just moved to this country. How are children supported and how can I help? How can I most effectively help? And it has to start with people that are already doing this in a systematic way and people that we can learn from. And that, again, is just my humble opinion. Boner. I have often asked myself if you were wearing pants below the camera. I mean, I doubt I would. Shorts. I'm wearing shorts. Always wear my shorts. Every now and then I'll be wearing undies, but you don't need to know that. Let's see. How can you be going to Oregon on Tuesday, Joshua, if you ask for heavy metal music for the meet and greet? No, seriously, I hope you have a great time, and I hope to see you soon and learn more about what you had a chance to learn. That is just amazing. Boom, pirim, pam, pum, pam, pum. I think we are done. Yay! We are done, which means it's time for me to go back to making more of these chingaderas. I have a pool party tomorrow, and I promised I would deliver presents for everyone. So what am I going to do? I'm going to be a hooker all afternoon. But I hope your weekend gives you exactly what you... Oh my God, the music. Yes, yes, yes. Hold on. Thank you very much, Colleen. Thank you. Hold on. Time out. Time out. Paco, go back. Up. There you go. My bad. My bad. Music. Okay. So, one of the things that we discussed during our music appreciation presentation on the history of music in films is the concept of diegetic music and non-diegetic music. I will tell you what it is, and then I will tell you why it's relevant. And in fact, if you give me 2 seconds, I will open the presentation. Although I won't be able to play the music samples that I played at the presentation because YouTube is going to get upset with me. Okay, so diegetic music is music that happens in a film and is part of the world of the film. If a scene in a film takes place inside of a bar, and there's a band playing, well, that is music that is part of the action of the movie, and that is diegetic music. The example that we gave during the presentation was the scene from Star Wars 4 when Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi walk into the cantina for the first time, and there's the very strange looking alien musicians playing. Okay, that's diegetic music. Now, non-diegetic music is music that is artificially planted into the action of the movie to complement the emotional message of the movie. Say you are walking down the beach and all of a sudden you hear this wonderful poetic music behind you, or a romantic film score. There are no musicians on the scene, but we hear the music anyway. Why? Well, because that's what directors do now. You see, we take non-diegetic music for granted nowadays, but when movies first started being played with sound, people that went to the movies often wondered, well, why does there have to be music, especially when there is music that is not related to the action of the film, which was more often than not the case at the beginning. I mean, the only time, we joked about this, the only time we go walking down the street in our daily lives and we hear music in the background is when we're high as a kite. And of course, when I'm stoned and I'm walking down the street, of course I hear music all around me. But that's the interesting thing about diegetic and non-diegetic music. If you wonder, for example, why a lot of the first films that included music and sound were musical back in the early 20th century, it's because directors felt this responsibility to justify the background music in their movies. So you see a lot of early musicals with orchestras appearing as part of the plot of the movie, because otherwise audiences might think, well, why are we listening to music if there is no band on stage or on the film? And that is the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic music. Let me see. I see a couple of last minute comments. Let me very quickly take a look. Lucy says, De Corazón a Corazón is one single lady helping elders and kids in need. She's not an institution. She does it by herself and has a regular job. She can use all kinds of donations. Ana Martín Cisneros. I respectfully appreciate what you're saying, but I respectfully remind everyone that if you're going to support any fundraising or nonprofit pursuit in this town, whether it be the project of one person or 100 people, be well informed about where the money goes, what the mission statement is, and whether the pursuit is handled responsibly. I know nothing about this Ana Martín Cisneros. I know very little about a lot of people that do that kind of thing. I do not doubt their good intentions, but I insist on the fact that we better all be well educated and we know exactly how the money is spent and how the children are benefited. Salam volunteers, about the children begging, we should go to the root of the problem, which is the parents. Yes, we should start with the parents. Well, there's very little we can do. I mean, I totally agree with you, Salam, but there's very little we can do to modify parents. But again, we can get close to the agencies that have the ability to modify parents or to offer services to parents. And in our case, it is the local DEEF office. Let's see. The food was wonderful. Oh, that has nothing to do with me. Let's see. Oh, this is lovely. Go out and love everyone you come in contact with today. Remember, I am another you and you are another me. We are all one. I am sorry to say, Joshua, but we're not all as wonderful as you are, or maybe we are wonderful in different ways. With that said, now it is time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for reminding me to give you a little something about diegetic and non-diegetic music. This is what we do in the Music Appreciation Workshop. So if you ever have a chance to go to one of my presentations, it would be kick-ass. And if not, hey, you're missing out. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday.